we'll go ahead and hop on to our next application, and this is going to be Microsoft Bookings. And so many of you out there set up and engage via phone calls. Certainly when I'm speaking with the Excellence IT team, Callum, what time are you free? Andy, when are you free? When are you both free to sync up and take a look at that? It can quite literally be a game of telephone in order to align schedules. Microsoft Bookings allows you to control that in a very granular way. And again, you probably already have access to this tool. And I did see that a few of you in the chat are currently using this. So there are some great customization options that I'd like to take you through and show you a little bit of a live look at what this looks like. So we will pull my kind of booking page back up again. So we can see there, welcome, Tom. I've got a couple of personal bookings there. You can see my organization has shared a few bookings with me, so I'm part of teams in which, as a specialist, I may be engaged for X, and my colleagues are engaged for Y, and the person on the other side is engaged for Z. But let's dive in and maybe create a little bit of a meeting and show you some of the customization. And again, this will align directly with your Outlook calendar. It works both on desktop and the web. And we'll automatically set up a Teams meeting with a Teams bridge. And so as far as quality of life and ease of use, one of the easier things to get started with that you simply may not have known is there, but you do have access to. So we'll create a new meeting type. And just to maybe keep our theme here, we'll call it the Excellence Call. So that's the name of the meeting that we're going to put together. We can put this into a certain category, and you can see there I've put a couple of custom categories over time in which I get involved in. Maybe this is an internal meeting for one of my colleagues to book my time so that we don't have to play back and forth on Teams or email to figure out our schedules, or potentially different ones there. So you can always add new color categories and kind of tags and things on there. Here is where you would do the description of the call. So I'm using kind of a purposely odd number there with 70, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But here again, we can add a physical location. So we can, take advantage of that. Again, whether or not you want that to know your location as a personal preference and a privacy consideration, or we can simply enable a Teams meeting, as many of us, attend a lot of our time there virtually. So we'll go ahead and forgo giving that just, maybe do just this time there and see if it's able to do the location. But adding that location in, here is the length of the meeting that'll be scheduled. So this will automatically, again, create that Teams bridge. We've got nice 15-minute increments, but of course, if we do need to customize that time, I can come into here and I can make that maybe 90 minutes if it's an hour and a half and we really need to get on a deep dive. And then this one is a very nice one as well. So whether or not this is going to be publicly available. Again, this is a link that can live inside of your email signature, for example. So if you're trying to generate new revenue, meet new clients, put yourself out there, maybe post something on LinkedIn, hey, book some time with me. They don't have to get in touch with you to see your schedule. You can make a public call type for maybe one type of engagement with yourself, and then have a private link as well, so that you send them this automatically and that only people you choose have access to your schedule. So there's some great flexibility into there. And you can even see a nice quality of life right there, whether that would be appended into your personal booking page with your email signature. Great little feature inside of that. And here we can see the schedule customization. And so this is maybe going into your Outlook and your email. And if you've not done a kind of that deep dive of fine tuning, this will take advantage of setting those office hours. Very important that we keep that work-life balance and that nobody books me for a 6 p.m. start time for a call. That would make me a little irritated. So I can make sure that the last booking will start at, say, 4 p.m. so that I'm wrapped up by 5, complete the admin, and I'm totally off the grid and onto my personal life by 5:30 at the end of my day. Can really help balance out that work-life balance a bit more. So we can see, again, customized availability or regular meeting hours. Potentially you're working overseas with somebody in a different time zone. You could create a potential booking just to make sure that they don't book you for that nice 3 a.m. call there if you're working with maybe some of our American counterparts. Underneath the advanced options, this has truly been something that has impacted me. We use this technology internally. Buffer time before meeting. Many of you out there probably today have had back-to-back meetings where you finish one thing and you either have to jump 5 minutes early or you're 5 minutes late to that back-to-back meeting. this can prevent that from happening by giving you a little bit of a buffer time, so that I'd say maybe 30 minutes. So the buffer plus 30 means that my excellent call will be 70 minutes, but I've got 30 minutes prepared so that nobody can kind of back to back, so that I can get my ducks in a row. I can get my materials together, my conversation, maybe use Copilot to help me prepare for the call with the individual, just to weave in a bit of AI and how I would use that. As well as that post-meeting breakdown. So one of the things that we tend to do is immediately get on to that next meeting. There's a fair bit of admin that can be involved with the conversation, of whether this is going to be with a colleague or a client or things like that. Copilot, again, will take excellent notes for you, but if you don't have time to review that, store that in a CRM, pass that along to other relevant team members that may need to be engaged, or maybe assign tasks to other individuals, you can always hard block out that initial extra time. And so I might give myself an extra 15 minutes after an excellence call, so that I can come in here and really know that I've got plenty of time to prepare, as well as that admin time. Now I can have what seems like back-to-back calls, but I don't have to be live on that call, if that makes sense. Last feature here as well was minimum lead time. How quickly can they book me for the call? It's currently 11:22. Can they book me for a half 11 meeting? I don't think anybody wins with a situation like that. So I might do an hour lead time, or maybe 1 day. That would be a little bit more common for what I do. Try to avoid same day bookings, just so that you have time to prepare for the call. I have time to prepare for the call. And if we need to trade maybe emails to make sure that we're both kind of maximizing that time together, a minimum lead time of 1 day is something that we use internally. As well as the future. How far into the future can they book me? I'm not necessarily excited about getting booked for a call on December 23rd, just because I may very well be on holiday break. And so I have no idea what I'm doing even a few months from now. So how far into the future can they book you? And you can see there, maybe, if you're on a very short schedule there, or again, a customize. You can only book me in a 90 days, about 3 months lead time on a booking. Again, we live in a very fast and ever-changing society here. You may not necessarily know your future schedule and holiday plans, and so something to certainly consider when putting together those lead times. Wrapping up the booking page here, just to stay on pace, you can put email reminders that are sent to the person. Reminder, you have a meeting with Tom tomorrow or in the next hour, just to make sure that that person does show up and attend. Your time is valuable, their time is valuable. We don't want to spam them with extra emails, and so if that is not needed, then certainly don't set it. And we can also send follow-up emails. And so potentially, if you're in maybe a customer service role, or you want to know how things are going, or you manage a team in which you'd like to know how their calls are going, you can add a follow-up email and customize that as well to put in any kind of NPS survey. That Net Promoter Score is a very popular score many of you are familiar with. You can maybe do a follow-up, tell us how we did on this call type of engagement. And again, fairly simplistic functionality of what you're looking at, but something that you may or may not know that you have access to. And or also there's that, third-party cost if you're engaging with some of those other booking softwares that are out there. This is all just housed within the Microsoft system. It's going to be an out-of-the-box. It's going to work and connect right into my Outlook from the get-go. I don't have to sign in or associate any accounts or anything going forward with that. Just make sure that you do save it after that customization. And you can see right there, I've got maybe a project sync. There's that excellence call we created. And functionally, I can come in here and find a really good template, and then maybe duplicate that across XYZ categories for engagement processes, just to save you a little bit of time in that step process. Perfect. And yeah, potentially Callum and Andy, I know we might have 1 or 2 more polls in there, so I may just pause for a second just to see if we have any other polls that we'd like to launch, just to maybe keep everybody a bit more engaged here. No worries if not, we can continue on if we need to. Great. And so, yeah, this is something that pertains to a couple of the products that we're going to look at. And so on the 4 things there, we know that you get a lot of challenges in the day-to-day, but is there anything on this list that we've come up with that is particularly, kind of vexing to you on that day-to-day basis? And again, this is just general curiosity and seeing where we can maybe help out with that. Staying on top of personal to-do lists looks like it's taking an early lead. I see some, yeah, the tasks and projects as well in there. Information organizations, certainly so. The managing bookings and meetings there, yeah, good, very good engagement on that. Thank you again, very much appreciate you guys contributing today's polls here. Perfect. So it looks like probably a clear winner there was staying on top of the personal to-dos. And I think the next couple of applications we'll get into will show you several different ways to achieve this. And so there isn't a best fit way. You know your job better than I do. So again, maybe try to take a look at the tool in which you like using and in which the user interface for you is good and nice and clean. Just know that there might be several ways to tackle that to-do list as we get into some of these other applications here.